I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. Fading away, you look so great when you gotta shine. One more part of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd. Pressure is your best enemy, spotlights show what I wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack, you just can't break free. I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. I'll be there when you fall, when you're losing it all, in the afterglow, in the afterglow.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday night. It is time for the Smackdown Security Detail, which Smackdown is coming to us live from Minneapolis at the Target Center. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris Best, and of course, alongside OMD and Chris Parrish, who will be showing up later on tonight. We're taking a look right now at all the highlights from WarGames right now, as we saw Rhea Ripley get the win in the women's WarGames match. We also saw Nakamura gain the United States Championship. Looking at the highlights right now from the men's WarGames match, which, man, that match was fire. Looking at Bronson Reed as he took the dive that injured his ankle. And we've got the Real Skull Troop coming in. How's it going? Glad to have you here. I'm doing great. How about you? And the OG Bloodline taking the win here. And of course, we've got Cole and Graves hanging around ringside. Oh, okay. There's where it's a broken foot for Bronson Reed. He is out indefinitely right now. Now we're taking a look at what Punk had done to... Oh, Tonga Loa tore his bicep in that match, too. Wow, didn't know that. Out indefinitely as well. And there's where Jimmy Uso broke his toe, out indefinitely. And when they mean by out indefinitely, it just means that they don't have a timetable for their return. But we do wish a speedy recovery from them as well. Right now, we're looking at the Street Profits walking into the building as they're getting set for their tag team title match against the Motor City Machine Guns later on tonight. One has to wonder, and will we see DIY make their presence felt in that match? And Solo Solo Jacob Fatu and attacking everybody in their way right now as they were seen taking out Apollo Crews, and now they're taking out a bunch of security. And of course, we're starting off with Cody Rhodes as he's making his way down the aisle. Of course, Cody getting the crowd all hyped up right now. Chad Gable and American Magus made their presence felt. How dare you remove me?
I apologize. I thought I hit add to stage.
Wow, what a main event we're going to be getting tonight.
I see that. What an interesting promo, and I was caught off guard at seeing Chad Gable to start SmackDown.
Did you hear what Cody said, though? About Nick Aldis in a trade window?
Yep.
Chad Gable mentioned the same thing coming down the ring. He said the reason that he's there is to talk to Nick Aldis about being traded over to SmackDown.
Interesting. So I'm wondering, like, as this is looking, if with that trade window, if he's looking to distance himself from the LWO situation as well as the Alpha Academy, and just sort of leave those in the past.
Well, the way I see it, we've only really got one stable over on SmackDown, because I don't really count Roman's Bloodline as a stable. They're more of like a bunch of guys who are aligned together for one cause, you know?
It's a collective, yeah.
Yeah. So, and of course, over on Raw is very stable heavy.
Yes.
So, to move him over to SmackDown and then give him this shot at Cody, it just again gives more opponents for Cody to take on.
Right. And this is something that we've all addressed, is that Shorty G would be a great short-term solution for a rivalry for Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said Shorty G, Chad Gable.
Well, that's okay. Stardust will defend the title.
I know. I did hear that.
So I didn't catch what was said there, but obviously it's Tiffy time.
It is. Coming out wearing Vikings colors.
Well, they are in Minneapolis tonight.
They are.
Which again, well, yeah, see, she's from Lake Pryor, Minnesota, so she would be a natural Vikings fan.
Yeah.
And a good way to start this off, because you got Tiffany as like this hometown hero kind of thing going on, you know?
Yes, and look who is sitting ringside.
Jesse Ventura, who will be doing commentary at Saturday night's main event, as was officially confirmed by the WWE today. I wanted to correct Bubba on that one, but it was announced months ago from other reporters.
It was expected, but nobody knew in what capacity and how much commentary he would be doing.
He's doing the whole show by the looks of it.
Yep.
Which is going to be a beautiful throwback. But I mean, like, Jesse Ventura is the voice of Saturday night's main event. Let's face it.
Right. Right. This is our triple threat U.S. title match.
Yes. Elektra Lopez making her way to the ring, and I don't think she's taking the win at all.
No, I don't. I actually have Tiffy getting the win in this.
One has to wonder, though, just how sore Tiffy's got to be for him last Saturday as well.
Right.
We also have another injury coming out of WarGames, by the way.
Really?
I'm not sure if it's Tama or Tongaloa, but they tore their biceps.
Oh, jeez.
Because, again, I still don't know the difference between the two men. They look the same to me. So...
Tongaloa has the slightly shorter hair, but I do get where you're coming from.
And it's been confirmed Bronson Reed broke his foot.
Yep.
And
we'll be out 3 to 4 months.
No, out indefinitely. They don't have a timetable.
Oh, what I saw today said 3 to 4 months.
WWE said out indefinitely. They don't have a timetable. They said that on SmackDown.
Ah.
And the same thing goes for Jimmy Uso. They don't have a timetable for his return. But Jacob Bott too is totally fine. He already made an appearance tonight.
Okay.
What had happened was they were showing like the wrestlers doing checking into the arena. They showed Apollo Crews checking in. Solo was behind him, and Solo plowed like through him. And of course, Apollo was like, "Hey, what the hell, man?" And Jacob Fatu just super kicked him and beat the snot out of him. So Apollo Crews got a SmackDown payday.
Yep. So I think out of anybody in this match, Naomi actually needs the win.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be opposed to Naomi taking the win. This is going to be my first time watching Elektra Lopez in a match, by the way.
Okay, I've seen her a couple of times in NXT.
She's got a little bit of an MMA style going on here.
She does. I wouldn't be opposed to Naomi winning it if I did have Naomi losing to Michin, which is sort of sending Naomi towards that darker side that we were seeing teased.
But at the same time now, because Tiffany's supposed to be a heel, but of course right now she's a babyface. It's her because hometown. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be opposed to Tiffany taking the win and then taking the loss to Michin in the following round, because I don't think Tiffany needs to win the whole tournament because she's got the money in the bank as it is.
She does. And that's where I think that, and I have Michin winning the whole thing, but I would also not be opposed to Tiffy winning it to then carry Money in the Bank to WrestleMania and cash in and be a double champion. Much in the same regard that Seth Rollins had it a number of years ago.
As much as I don't like this, but imagine in the finals at next week's Saturday night's main event, she cashes in there.
Right?
And the reason I don't like that is because I'm not a fan of taking the Money in the Bank and cashing it in on a secondary title.
Right. And that's only ever been done once before, which was Austin Theory cashing in on, or trying to cash in on Seth, I do believe.
It was either Seth or Bobby Lashley. There was like a time when they were all trading the U.S. title back and forth between each other.
Right. But I'm thinking, just imagine this. Tiffy wins the women's U.S. title at Saturday night's main event and then cashes in the women's Money in the Bank. And let's say she cashes in on Liv, which now has her defending the U.S. title on SmackDown and carries the women's title on Raw. And especially with her and Nia potentially in the hunt for the women's tag titles, depending on what they're going to do with those given Jade's injuries.
Yeah, there's still no talk on that right now either.
I did find it interesting, though, in that last promo with Bianca, she did not have the women's tag title with her.
By the way, I just noticed Naomi's got some Minnesota things going on too on her gear.
Yep, the North Star.
Yep. The Minnesota North Stars, a team that when they came back as the Wild, there was a part of me that wished that they would have just been called the North Stars again.
Yeah, but they couldn't because the North Stars relocated to Dallas, so they weren't allowed to.
I know.
So, and then we had that huge those two huge NHL announcements today, both coming out of the Rangers.
Yeah, I saw the Trouba getting traded to Anaheim, but I didn't see what the other one was.
For 8 years, $92 million, so $11.5 million a year, Igor Shesterkin got paid.
When are they going to learn that those giant contracts never pan out?
Right.
I mean, Rick DiPietro. Need I say more? The Islanders are still paying out
I know.
the butt for his contract, and they're going to be for like the next 2-3 years, from what I understand. Like DiPietro's rolling in the dough because of that, and they only gave him that giant contract because he had that one great game.
So I am anticipating a delivery around 10 o'clock tonight, so you may have to do my socials.
Delivery of what?
Something for Shane's Christmas present.
Hmm.
Because they called me at 10 after 7, and I told them I'm at work until 8 o'clock. It's not even supposed to be delivered until Monday, and it's here today. But
because I was going to say I've never heard of deliveries after 8 o'clock.
no, but I called the guy tonight on my way home and said I'll be home in 5 minutes, and he said, "Okay, can I drop it off to you around 10?"
Hmm.
So who knows?
It's not like an Amazon order or anything, eh?
It was from Amazon, yeah.
Okay. Weird.
Because he gave me his number to actually call him back, so I did.
I wish the delivery drivers for Amazon would friggin' call me. All they do is they drop the package off at the door, or they take the package if I can't answer,
Right.
and then they try another day when
Yep.
I'm home all day. Hey, I even leave them like my buzzer code and everything like that, so they can leave it at my actual front door. You know,
Yep.
because I know nobody in the building will take my package.
We called it. And there is Mr. Parrish. How are we doing tonight, my friend?
I just got the finish, so I'm a little bit behind you.
Yep.
How's it going, guys?
Good. Yourself, my friend?
Going good. Parrish is having a little bit of audio troubles right now. So the Street Profits have been attacked. Pretty sure I got an idea on who did that. How much do you want to bet, though, that was actually both of them?
Yeah. And now we've got Bianca coming to the ring all taped up, so that segment must have said earlier today, and I missed it.
Well, she was taped up, yeah, before the segment because, well, I mean, she wants to show that she's trying to recover from WarGames, you know?
Yeah. But in that segment where she was attacked by Chelsea and Piper.
Yeah, and we're looking at what had happened to
Jade.
And because I missed what was said there, I'm betting Bianca was cornering them about the attack because Piper Niven was on screen before.
That wasn't Piper. That was way too thin. It was just a girl in a plaid shirt.
Dude, she just said, "I'm blaming you. I saw you there." There's a part of me, though, that wants to see Piper take the win in this match.
Yep, me too.
I don't think you're going to lift Piper on those with those injured ribs.
Nope.
Oh, good counter by Piper on that one. But I am curious about what do they do with the women's tag titles? Because do we either get like somebody like just filling in for Jade, or do we forfeit the belts? Because I don't. If they do forfeit the belts, I don't want another tournament.
Right.
Because right now we've got way too many tournaments going on as it is.
Yes. The problem is I mean, really the only one that would make sense to actually fill in for Jade because she has been aligned with them would be Naomi. And that would still cast more suspicion onto Bianca and to Naomi for that takeout as well. So I can see that to further the storyline.
I'm actually surprised that we still didn't get we haven't gotten an answer on what's going on with those tag team titles right now.
Right?
There we go.
You're with us now.
Garish back, yes.
Yeah, my Bluetooth was turned on. So
Mhm.
it was connected to a pair of headphones that are up in my bedroom, not even down in this basement.
Jeez.
That is very weird. I've never had that happen before.
Right. We are getting an ad now for the Elimination Chamber.
Not me. I just had an ad for Kia.
Oh, no. No, I'm getting an ad for the Elimination Chamber, which, I get to go and see.
But that's after the Royal Rumble, which I get to go see.
That's 2 PLEs that Turnbuckle Studios have covered.
And now that Smackdown is in Indianapolis the day before, there's a chance I might be going to that too.
Well,
Nice.
I'm going to be honest. If they do announce SmackDown for Toronto the night before, I may go and get tickets. I did find a flight today. I'm going to book it next week when I get paid for $187 round trip.
Through Porter?
Yep. And Air Canada.
Oh, Air Canada is actually charging cheap prices?
Well, it's actually cheaper if you do one way with one airline, one way with another. And if you're flying by yourself, you'll get better deals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, to just give you a little price point, it was around $1,000 for the entire trip to San Antonio.
Right.
For the Rumble 2 years ago for me. And that's including ticket, flights, accommodations, like everything.
Yeah. See, the nice thing is I don't have to worry about accommodations because I can stay with Shane's aunt and his cousins.
Yeah, I think we're just doing an Airbnb in Indy.
Mm-hmm.
But we're like minutes away from downtown and minutes away from Lucas Oil
Right.
Stadium where the Rumble is.
The only problem is I have 2 choices of flights. I can either get up and fly out at 6:05 a.m. and arrive there by 8:30, or I can leave at like 2 in the afternoon and be there by 3:30.
I mean, it all depends on what you want. I mean, I always say get there earlier because you never know if something goes wrong. And if it goes wrong, I rather have that happen at the beginning of the day than midday or later in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. We're all old men here, so we're going to be up anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
And you don't have to go through customs.
Yeah, I'm also the type too that if I were to take a trip, I'd want to go on the earlier way to travel. That way I can enjoy some more of my trip while I'm down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm literally flying down the Friday, there the Saturday, and flying back the Sunday.
Yeah. Yes, I think we're heading down there the Thursday and coming back the Sunday.
Right.
Needless to say, foreshadow people, that will be a taped episode of the Chris Bears podcast that Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Hey, I did do a live busting out the day after the Rumble 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Card subject to change.
What we're getting right now is a pretty damn good match between Piper Niven and Bianca Belair right now.
Did you expect anything less?
No. And the reason behind this is because Bianca has blamed Piper and Chelsea for the attack on Jade.
Well, she didn't blame them. She hinted at it and then got beat up by the two of them.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to say, Bianca, you got to learn to throw some punches and not just flailing haymakers.
Yeah. Now, we were asking Parrish, what do you do with the women's tag title situation? Does someone fill in for Jade, or do we forfeit the tag titles? And how do you go about getting new champs?
I'd give Bianca Belair an opportunity to defend them with a replacement, and then I'd flat out, and this is kind of the way I would do it for most of the time. If they can find if she can find a replacement, and say hypothetically she chooses Naomi, and Naomi and Bianca retain the titles over said team that they face, then now your new tag champions are Naomi and Bianca. No more Jade. Jade is out of that picture. Or they lose and you have new champions. But either way, the championships are defended. Either way, at the end of the match, we have champions.
Okay.
And I actually... Sorry, go ahead.
Beth.
I was going to say, I wouldn't be opposed to it happening at Saturday night's main event, because I took a look at what's on the card right now, and it's all singles matches. We could use a tag team match on that card.
Yeah, and I'm begging for Motor City Machine Guns to be on there, because they have yet to be on a PLE or any one of those big time shows. They've only been on SmackDown. And
right.
I do think the Motor City Machine Guns should be that team to defend their titles.
Right. Now, I went with a very similar scenario. I did say use Naomi as the replacement because she's been aligned with Bianca and Naomi, or Bianca and Jade.
Yeah, I just used it as an example. It very well could be anyone.
But you use it to further that storyline, because that then casts more suspicion onto Bianca and Naomi as to who took Jade out.
Well, it'd be very interesting if you had somebody that Bianca picked and that person ended up losing, so they lost the titles that way, and then that person who, kind of could be at blame for the loss was the one who ended up attacking Jade down the road.
Right. So are you looking at a similar situation to like what we saw last year with Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus?
To an extent, I guess.
I mean, it could be more like Austin when he got hit by the car there.
Yeah. I think I go that route a little bit more so. But, I mean, you also didn't have tag titles kind of attached to Stone Cold at that time. So it is a different scenario, but I do think like the whole who attacked who, I mean that obviously is very similar.
The only thing tied to Austin that night was he was supposed to be in the triple threat match later on that night for the title.
Yeah.
The same one that Big Show ended up taking Austin's place and winning the championship that night.
And it goes, I mean, the more I think about it, the more I'm not too sure if I want it to be Naomi, to be that person who attacked Jade. I do think this is a very easy way for the Bianca heel turn, if she is the one who does it. And I do think that is more likely. I honestly think if the Street Profits end up going more into that heel way, we'll see something along that line.
Mm-hmm. Jeez, that's
right.
Bianca's strength scares me, man.
Yeah, I could also see both Bianca and Naomi making that heel turn. I think it's something that Naomi needs, because she has been a face for so long, and even since coming back, she's never really gotten a lot of momentum.
But I got to ask you this. Do you really want a repeat of what we're getting over on Raw right now with the New Day?
I don't think it is a repeat.
But
Nobody attacked anyone in that one.
Yeah.
It was a verbal thing.
Which, by the way, I found out that that was the original plan for Odyssey Jones. Big E was actually not supposed to be involved in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But until I hear something from somebody inside the company, that is just a big speculation. But I'd like to hear kind of from either like Kofi or Big E or Xavier's mouth, or I mean Triple H could just say it, but I highly doubt he will.
And no, Parrish, your eyes do not deceive you. We are getting Cody Rhodes and Chad Gable tonight in the main event.
I know. I watched their segment on my ride home.
Okay.
I do that because due diligence, all right?
Comes into the show prepared.
Yeah, man. If you're gonna be on a patrol like we are on Mondays, or if you want to make sure that you're on a proper security detail. I mean, detail is in the name. So I got to make sure I do detailed homework before I just run in. There's more to a run-in than just popping in. You actually have to be prepared.
But what I find interesting is what they had said in that promo about a trade window.
Transfer window.
I know, but Michael Cole said trade window afterwards, and that's what stuck with me.
As did Cody.
Yeah, and then they said transfer window after.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they probably said trade and then corrected themselves. But either way, I mean, a trade is a form of a transfer. But I do like the fact they are looking at something like this. Not to mention, if you're going to do a draft at some point in the year, you should do trades and you should have a trade deadline and all that. So
it's going to be interesting to see how this is all going to play out now.
Yeah, it's chaos, and I like it.
Yep.
It's the way I run my fantasy football league. Nothing but chaos.
But up next, our United States champion, Shinsuke Nakamura, is going to be showing up.
Yes.
So I'm just looking at a WWE shop commercial there, and they had Jey Uso, and they announced today for Jimmy Uso's injury, it is a broken toe. He's out indefinitely, so they don't have a timetable for his return.
How much do you want to bet he's back by the Rumble?
Yeah, that's a broken toe. You're not gone long, you know?
I have a feeling he's back by January 6th.
I have a feeling he could be back whenever they actually do need him. Let's be honest. You don't have to rush with this Bloodline storyline right now.
No.
The month of December really kind of is an open window to kind of help the rest of your talent pool, especially this time when you do have January 6th. It's a big day, not only for Raw, but for the company and for anybody who watches pro wrestling and Netflix.
Yeah.
And then after that, you have Saturday night's main event. You then gear to the Rumble, which then gears to the road to WrestleMania. So you have plenty of time to worry about, your big stars, your big angles. So there's no way of, you don't need to rush on many things.
Yeah.
And if
it's
the
also,
rumor is, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's also been confirmed for Bronson Reed, broken foot. He too is out indefinitely.
Yeah, then he's probably back by the Rumble too.
Mm-hmm.
I
can't remember. I can't remember which one of the. I can't remember which one of the Tongas they had mentioned, but torn bicep as well.
Probably, I would say Tama because he does more.
But yeah, again, broken foot. That's like what, usually a 6 to 8 week recovery.
Yep, minimum.
4 to 6. I've always found people usually get through broken bones, depending on the bone.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's a toe, and you could. It's more touch and go on stuff like that because you are putting weight on your foot. So it's going to be more of a how it feels and what can you do. Are you able to jump? Are you able to kind of do stuff with it? When you really think about how often you use your toe for things, until you actually do it, you realize you do need it for a lot more. But it's also, just try right now. Try moving a random toe that's not your big toe. Can you do it the way you do it with a finger? Probably not.
No.
I have a hard time moving my toes as it is, so.
So, no, but my point is, if he was to tape two, like, let's say it's his second, the toe right beside his big toe.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why you couldn't maybe just tape the second and third one together, kind of like you would fingers, put it in like a sock, tape that up or whatever, put it in your boot, and you should be good to go.
Yep.
Like, in all honesty, like, I'm sure that's something to what they'll do. I can't see Jimmy Uso really. I'm sure he'll go a couple weeks, make sure it's healed or whatnot. But there's going to be that latter part where you're just like, okay, I'm going to test it out. I'm going to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if some of these wrestlers are like me and they're just like, they get bored of doing nothing and they like to test what they're capable of doing, even when they're hurt.
Yeah, because I remember when I dislocated my shoulder in a match and they were like, oh yeah, you're going to be down for a month. And I'm like, 2 weeks later, the sling was off and I was back in the ring. I really put my shoulder to the limit.
I love the spot to where Rhea ended up handcuffing Raquel.
Mm-hmm.
And how well that played off and how the Tiffany Stratton cash-in was the distraction for it.
Carl and I had said, though, wouldn't it have looked better? And wow.
See Dominic Mysterio there?
Yeah, that's what I was wowing at.
Wow.
But Carl and I were talking about that spot, and we both thought that if they would have just handcuffed like Raquel's wrist to her other wrist to the ropes, it would have looked a lot better.
No, now as your current reigning, potentially defending United States champion, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yes, and I am digging the new music.
Yeah, even more changes to what he had done with his what they had done with his theme.
Yes, with his theme, with his look. I mean, now you look and he's got the Jimmy Havoc mask.
Bit of a frightening look, but cool at the same time.
I like it.
If you wanted a rematch now, wouldn't he come prepared and wear his gear and not street clothes? Guess was Tonga Loa?
Yeah, I guess it was Tongaloa who got hurt. I couldn't remember which one, so But I find it interesting that Solo and the Bloodline would attack everybody here, unless they were just victims of circumstance.
Now, one has to wonder. One has to wonder with what you told me earlier, Best. Are they the ones who maybe interfered in with the Street Profits for the tag team title match?
I mean, yeah, because they also attacked Apollo Crews and a bunch of security guards earlier tonight.
I think what we're seeing is the Bloodline kind of reacting to their loss of WarGames by leaving a chaotic trail
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
of a reminder to the entire locker room that they are the ones and
Yeah.
everyone else is not. So I think that is really what it is. And then in the whole scan of things, yes, they're collecting enemies, they're collecting opponents, they're collecting future matches. You know, like that.
Yeah.
That's just going to come with the territory.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't think it's necessarily anything more. I think what we might see is more of a definite somebody coming up and replacing Tongaloa and then keeping that fourth spot of the Bloodline.
Right.
Could be seeing Hikuleo coming up more now, or we could be seeing somebody else. It's up in the air.
Yeah. Yeah, so just as I said, basically LA Knight and Andrade were victims of circumstance, as it were.
Right. I was really intrigued. Like Shinsuke was ready to attack. I found it funny that they didn't target Shinsuke. I was sort of waiting for Shinsuke to join.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got Papa Shango vibes when the mist stuff started leaking out of his mouth.
Well, here's kind of why. They're both heels.
Yeah.
Why do heels need to attack heels?
Right.
Did they really attack any heels earlier? We assume the Profits are heels, but are they? Or are they kind of in the middle?
Right
I'd
now
say
they're
right
in the
now
middle.
in the middle.
Exactly. So have they actually attacked any other heels?
No.
Exactly. There's no need because those heels could be allies.
Exactly. That's why I was waiting on Shinsuke to potentially join as that.
But here's where I'm going. The reason why they probably don't attack Shinsuke is because they know Shinsuke has beefs with Andrade and LA Knight. So by attacking LA Knight and Andrade, they could just push them to Shinsuke. And since they go, hey Shinsuke, we assured that you didn't get 2-on-1.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure those guys aren't coming here, and we'll offer you somebody of assistance.
Yeah.
But we scratch your back, you scratch our back. I think that's kind of more
Right.
Yeah, and the way Solo pushed Jacob Fatu and Tonga Loa off of him was that was more like it was either we'll deal with him later or he's not our problem, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you could tell Nakamura did want to fight them before he got out of the ring.
Yeah, it's very interesting to know what they do plan on doing with the bloodline if they are going to do anything with a fourth member. I was reading a report that a plan for Hikuleo was to start in NXT before coming to the main roster. However, one is right to assume or presume if things are changed based on the injuries and whether or not these injuries are enough time to really mess with storylines. And if that's the case, do we see something along the lines of maybe an earlier call up than normal?
Right. We do know that yes, Hikuleo is supposed to start in NXT, as is Lance Anoa'i.
Mm-hmm. But with Hikuleo being the adopted brother of Tama Tonga, it very well could be an easy transition to just bring him back into the fold, have him team with Tama for the time being, and then go that route.
Yeah. As well, today it came out that Zilla Fatu has called out Solo for using the spike because the spike is Zilla's father's move.
Cool. He didn't invent it, so shut up.
Yeah.
And is Zilla side? No. So what are you actually doing?
Trying to garner some heat for himself, I suppose. I kind of want Michael Cole to go out to the car and interview to KO.
Right?
So this is exactly what I foresee happening here. We saw Tommaso Ciampa say he still wants his answer from Johnny Gargano.
Mm-hmm.
I can see Johnny Gargano being the one to be pinned. Only for Ciampa to put a beat down. Gargano comes, pushes Ciampa away, only to continue the beat down on the machine guns.
And see that this is what bolsters my theory for what happened to the Street Profits, because
Right.
I had said that what if it wasn't Gargano that took, or what if it wasn't Ciampa who took them down, but Gargano was the one who took them out?
Yeah.
Well, what happens if it was both of them and this has just been their
plan all along.
Yeah.
But this is going to be one hell of a tag title match.
Yeah, I'm just wanting to know if we're going to see more of an angle than just a match, because I could see this match being maybe not the match everybody wanted,
Right.
but an angle towards the match everybody wants.
Which, again, alludes to how you were saying you wanted to see the Motor City Machine Guns defending the tag titles at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to see Motor City Machine Guns get that promoted opportunity, because, as I said, like they've never been on a PLE yet, and they've never kind of defended the tag titles away from SmackDown. So I want to see him kind of on that other stage, getting that opportunity. It'll help for the SmackDown tag titles. Right now, they are the hot tag titles on the main roster. So
Yeah.
let's do something there.
Now, could we see the Street Profits potentially come back in this match, cause interference, set up a triple threat that, again, we don't necessarily want, but could that lead to a triple threat, a new crew of TLC?
I don't think you need it yet. I can see it next week, maybe at Saturday's main event. But if the idea is to say turn Johnny Gargano, I think you need to slow it down and to slow cook it and to allow that to breathe and have its moment, because if you just add too much to it, it'll just take away from the turn and really take away from the natural organic hatred the fans would have to Johnny. Imagine if they did something like that on Monday, how much that would take away from the natural heat that Xavier and Kofi ended up getting.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you get that organic and real heat, it's more sustainable in the long run.
And that's honestly what I was wondering, going back with the New Day, if Odyssey Jones was the one that was to be involved in that situation, would the New Day have been able to garner as much heat as they did with Big E on Monday? A part of me says no on that one.
Yeah, and I'm with you there. I think if now you're going to add a heel, and I know that you guys, none of us are big fans, but now would you maybe potentially add Omos as that new big man to the New Day?
I don't think you need to add anybody to that mix.
No, I think the only thing you could add is maybe a manager or somebody along that line to kind of give them that new feel.
Right.
Who that would be, I'm not too sure. Or, I mean, I think a person that you really could add that kind of could do something similar, and you'd have to find a way to get him to that, would be an Apollo Crews. I think he fits the mold if you were going to add somebody along that line, because he fits that mold to how New Day became New Day. They were three guys who were looking to reestablish themselves and be better and grow. And right now, Apollo Crews is exactly in that spot. You can argue that both Kofi and Xavier are there as well. How do they kind of grow and take it to the next level from what everybody thought they were? But if it's not, again, I kind of circle back to the, what if this is a ploy to have Big E come back, and just when they thought he was going to be the guy to take it back to them, he actually helps them out. He turns heel, and we're talking about down the road, everyone in the New Day as hated heels, and nobody could say, hey, remember like 6 months ago where we couldn't think about how we could hate one of these guys and now we can't stand them?
Yep.
Like, he did say he would come back every week to serve as their manager. I think that could still happen.
Right. Excuse me a moment, gentlemen.
Oh, it's potty time. Potty, because he's got to, mister. I've been doing that all day. What was it? I told the guy at work, I'm like, I am not impressed by your performance. Yeah, just doing old quotes. When I left, I was like, take care now. Bye-bye then. Yep. Nothing but the good old quotes for me today.
Oh, sorry, I was just reading up on that Igor Shesterkin deal there.
Yeah, you can't pronounce his name, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Shesterkin.
Okay. 8 years, $92 million. I mean, that's just reaching Rick DiPietro levels there. But I'm
the difference is he's the best goalie in the game.
Yeah.
And DiPietro was never.
No. And as I was telling OMD before, I mean, like the DiPietro deal was just based off of one good game that DiPietro had.
Yeah, well, and that was the mistake, because who did the Islanders draft the year before as their goalie?
And then
trade him.
I can't remember.
Roberto Luongo.
Mm-hmm. In the words of The Price is Right.
Right. And I mean, if you're going to look at goalies like that, I look at Mika Kiprasov, who after he signed that huge deal with Calgary, just completely shit the bed.
Oh, you don't want to talk about Tuukka Rask? Why not?
Tuukka hadn't been signed. Tuukka, we hadn't signed Tuukka yet. We had just drafted him.
Yeah, which means you controlled his rights.
Yeah, and also the deal that you guys made with Raycroft as well.
Oh, I know. I know.
Hey, it could be bad. I mean, you could have drafted a guy like Wallstead, but then trade back and then pick up a guy who you end up trading a couple years anyway. I mean, right. I don't know who did that. I'm not pointing any fingers at Edmonton Oilers, but right now the machine guns are taking it to Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah. And I got to say, that little exchange, that was some smart tag team wrestling from the Machine Guns, especially with Sabin keeping Ciampa in the corner when he tagged Shelley in.
Yep.
It's still surreal to me to seeing them in a WWE ring.
We'll get used to it, all right.
It's going to be a while yet. It still feels very surreal. To me, they were TNA lifers at one point.
It's surreal to me, damn it. Ooh, that could be a t-shirt.
Yeah. Like, I always thought Shelly and Sabin were going to be TNA lifers. That's why I kind of find it a little surreal still, you know?
I find it very weird that Gargano's reluctant in the match to do anything.
I mean, you're in a match for the tag team titles. You should be wanting to do anything and everything.
Yep.
Huh.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. We got ourselves new tag team champions.
We do.
What do you mean? Did something happen on the television?
Why, yes. Yes, it did.
Ah, cool. Can you explain for all the people who may not be watching?
Yeah, so we saw Johnny Gargano. Despite his what we were saying about his reluctance earlier, and how I said you should do anything and everything you want to win the tag titles, he did do everything and anything he wanted to win the tag titles by low blowing the machine guns.
Chris
Yes.
Sabin, to be specific.
Yeah,
Yes,
Chris Sabin. My bad.
and then kicking Alex Shelley, and then hitting, of course, the meet in the middle finisher with Ciampa.
And what we saw right now was the first loss from the Motor City Machine Guns while being in WWE.
Is this the first time that we're seeing DIY as a heel team? Because I can't remember if Ciampa was a part of the way or not.
He
Ciampa
was
was
not.
not
This
a-
is the first time DIY has been a heel tag team.
Okay.
Because remember, they were a babyface team until Ciampa turned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was referring, because I couldn't remember if Ciampa was a part of the way or not.
Ciampa
No,
was on
he
the
was.
main roster during the way. He was doing the stuff with The Miz at the time.
Oh, yeah. I tend to try to repress that memory.
You know what? It wasn't that bad. I mean, you got a WrestleMania moment out of it.
Yeah. But at the same time, Ciampa just did not fit the mold, you know?
No, but it then allowed him to then go back towards the DIY stuff. So,
Yeah.
the story then kind of took its turn to go back to, what a lot of people wanted, and that was their reuniting DIY. Now, I gotta ask, could this happen because does Netflix want the Motor City Machine Guns on Raw?
I would not be opposed to that move.
Me neither.
And then by that, maybe we get American Made over on SmackDown. Maybe we get a couple of other teams over. And then, hey, here could be the team that takes the Raw titles away from the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That match would be awesome.
And I'm even going to suggest this one. If you get the Motor City Machine Guns over to Raw, now you get the white hot babyface tag team over there to feud with the now white hot heel tag team in the New Day.
And that's only if they stay on Raw.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I get a feeling in the coming days, maybe this weekend sometime, we're probably going to get some kind of rules on what this trade window is going to be, you know?
I'm going to assume that one general manager offers up a talent, and in exchange, they get another talent from another show.
Right, but I'm wondering if there's going to be a rule to like how many talent can they trade over? You know what I mean? When does this window come to an end?
I'm going to assume it comes to an end probably right before the Netflix special.
See,
Mhm.
I was
Or
going
the
to say,
Netflix move.
I was going to say the on January 6th or later that week, whatever the Friday is going to be, probably the 10th.
Well, January 3rd is when the move for SmackDown is it not?
Yeah, because everything is moving on the 1st, actually.
Yeah.
So I could see it even being the 6th.
So maybe day one-ish is...
Mhm.
But that day one is H, according to Brizongo.
No, actually, H was my manager back in the day.
Well, that episode of SmackDown actually happens on my birthday, so.
But right now, we got Signs of the Night. Merry Yeetmas.
I love that they're doing this. It's encouraging fans to once again start bringing signs to the shows again.
I do too, but Minnesota, man, your signs are almost as bad as your sport teams. Come on now. I know people can say, well, the Wild's doing good. Yeah, come to me when they win a cup.
They're not doing that well this year, I don't think.
Oh, yeah, Minnesota's doing better than the Jets right now, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Go look. You're on your phone a lot. Go check it out.
I'm not on my phone.
I said you're on your phone a lot. Not now. I wasn't saying you're on your phone now. I'm just saying. You like to go on your phone a lot. Go check it out.
Yeah, they're at the top of the Central Division right now, dude.
That was interesting.
That was hilarious.
Michael, you don't have any friends, so you don't know what betrayal is.
One more thing. Rolls up the window. And next Friday, we're going to get Bayley versus Chelsea Green in a women's semifinal match to crown the first finalist for the women's inaugural United States
We're
Championship.
getting both semifinal matches next week as we also get Tiffany Stratton versus Mi Chin.
I wasn't finished.
Oh.
Anybody else think it's Trick Williams?
I was thinking that because it just crossed my mind. What if we do get a couple of call-ups during this trade window? What if NXT is involved in the trade window? You know,
I can
Well, they already-
see it.
They already said it. They said all the general managers, including
Yeah.
Raw, NXT, Raw. So they said all the general managers. And now I don't see it as a call-up anymore. I just see it as a transfer. I mean,
Yeah.
NXT is on television now. They're no longer in development. They haven't been in development ever since they've been on. Really, I don't even really ever since the NXT 2.0 thing.
Yeah.
yeah,
Was away. I stopped looking at that as a kind of that.
yeah. I've been meaning to try to coin the term "call over" instead of
Now,
Well, I mean, you're not going to say call over if it's Raw to SmackDown.
I probably would.
No, you're just saving your behind right now on that.
Then it's
Somebody's
a
gotta do it.
transfer. I do know that, and I've heard that apparently Netflix and apparently Trick Williams is set to be called up to Raw or called over to Raw.
And one might assume, could this be a way to put Trick and Mello back together, or would it be a guaranteed storyline for the both of them if it was Mello?
I'm going to think I'm going to think a little bit outside the box here too, because we did have a wrestler as recently as about a month ago say goodbye to NXT, and that's Obafemi.
Since
I
we're
think
talking about Trick Williams, could we stay on topic though?
I think with Trick,
No, because I said I'm thinking outside the box. I changed the subject.
I think with Trick Williams, I think we're going to see. I want them to keep away from that for a bit, but I do think that it's a guaranteed storyline, but will eventually bring them back together.
If you wanted to kind of retool the tag team division, I wouldn't be against it. However, now you can look at these two as being more of equals opposed to Trick being a 2 to Mello's 1 or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
that's something to. I don't know if their feud would translate necessarily to the different audiences
And
as much as people would assume.
And I know that we've heard Trick sort of praising Mello again the last couple of weeks on NXT.
It would be, yeah. I mean, it would be very intriguing to see what they would do if it was a trick mellow. Now, to go to what you were saying, Beth, now to use a transfer window to the next topic. See, that's how you connect. Yes, Obafemi. This is probably an easy way for Obafemi to be that person to go. I hope he is on SmackDown. I think he would flourish on SmackDown. I think he would get lost in the shuffle on Raw, to be quite honest. You have Braun Breaker on Raw. I don't know if you should have both.
Right.
Obafemi and Sheamus would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So would Oba and Bronson Reed, to be honest with you.
I think Oba and Braun is something very similar to, your Bianca and Rhea's. They've done a good job of like kind of keeping them away and kind of helping them be anchors of their own divisions.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that could be something of thought for both Oba and Braun, as they could look at these as being kind of like the John Cena Batista on their thing. Yes, when the time comes, we'll have them together and make magic, but right now it could be better off just having them separate.
Mm. And as far as Trick Williams goes, that's all going to actually depend on tomorrow, because, of course, we've got the NXT deadline, which is going to be hosted by the PLE Patrol, and that all depends on who wins that Iron Survivor. Because whomever wins that Iron Survivor, I believe, will be the one who takes the title from Trick.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but isn't Trick also defending the belt tomorrow night?
Against Ridge Holland, apparently.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of an angle on NXT, but I mean, yes, as of right now, it still stands that he is going to defend against Ridge Holland. So, I don't know necessarily if we'll see something solidified by a result. Trick very well could still win and then beat both. We've seen that in the past.
Or do we see Trick win tomorrow night, maybe lose at New Year's Evil to then make his main roster debut in the Rumble?
I mean, anything is on the table. I think when it comes now, like, this is the best time to say never in WWE, because really it is. And yeah, I mean, also, I wonder if this is also a way for WWE to introduce Penta, if they were to sign him as well.
Yeah.
Who is now a free agent, who is now no longer on the AEW website. The ties and the rumors of him going to WWE have been very strong for months now. So could we see something like that? Or when it comes to Nick Aldis saying he's have somebody in play, let's not forget about the working relationship with TNA.
Yep.
How interesting would that be if TNA actually got involved with the transfer window? That would be intriguing a little bit there.
Yes, it would.
Well, I mean, it is being rumored that there are a couple people that WWE do have their eyes set on once their deals with TNA do expire. One being Jordan Grace of note. The other, yes, is probably one who has made his date of his free agency of February 15th, and that is Josh Alexander. And then probably when his contract does expire in TNA, I'm sure Joe Hendry would be another one.
Yep.
However, there's also another name that we could look for, whether or not he is the complete, whether or not he's always ready, whether or not he's going to be a Ring of Honor champion or not. Matt Cardona is still officially a free agent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some excellent chain wrestling to start this match off. I'm liking it.
Well, you got to expect with these two, they're going to go back to the basics in this match. We know Cody is no slouch when it comes to to that chain wrestling, as he is a former amateur wrestler as well. Chad Gable, an Olympic alternate from amateur wrestling, and we know that he is a very skilled technician. So, yeah, this is going to be nothing short of that kind of style in my eyes.
Yeah, we Cody also doing just as he said to Chad Gable. He's basically going to be wrestling this match with a chip on his shoulder, and that's exactly what we're seeing out of Cody right now.
Yep.
The heavy Nile coming into play, being a distraction for Chad Gable, who hits a beautiful dragon screw through the ropes.
Now, I know we just saw Kevin Owens drive off. Could we see him still potentially come back and interfere? Or do we put the nail in the coffin on that one for the night?
I think we need to see something.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we need to see something to build just a little bit more heat onto this feud.
I'll never say never.
Yeah.
I think everything's always on the table when it comes to WWE. So just when you thought that the plates are getting empty, they keep serving up more dishes.
Yeah.
But speaking of dishes being served, I think this is a great time to check out what dishes Turnbuckle Studio serves every week.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we get a variety stream with the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Friday we game again with Unleashed, the Jessica Wilde story at 7 p.m. Following the game, join us for the Smackdown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
And if you want a little bit more information about the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, you can always go check out affiliationprogram.mydoghabit.site, as it is a great platform to get your information on your introduction to the podcasting world and how you could potentially be a part of the Turnbuckle Studios team.
Oh, hang on. There's a call coming in.
It's nobody. He says he knows you.
It's probably his Amazon order he's waiting on.
Oh, yes, those toys that he ordered.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It's a lucrative locker room deal. It's either that or you know what? I won't do that. I won't bury him that much. That'd be rude. Funny, but rude. So I'm gonna ask if we're seeing Chad Gable on SmackDown and we're getting a lot of this. Do we see maybe this on Monday, where some SmackDown wrestlers are coming down to Raw, and then could we see some Raw and SmackDown superstars tomorrow in NXT?
I'm going to say yes on that one. Yeah, I'm trying to weigh out the options on who would be beneficial to Raw as opposed to being on SmackDown. And welcome back, OMD.
Thank you. That was my Amazon package.
We kind of figured it was those toys you ordered.
Yep.
The locker room lucrative special came in.
Yeah.
See, folks, we tell no lies here on the Smackdown Security Detail. Now I'm intrigued to think if we're gonna see not only superstar movement, could we also see official movement, and could we see Jessica Carr become the new head referee or official of Monday Night Raw?
I'm sure anything is on the table. Apparently, Michael Cole is going back to Raw on Netflix.
Well, I mean, we know that Pat McAfee returns to Raw or to WWE full time starting January 6th.
Yep.
So that probably means Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett and Corey Graves could be the voice of SmackDown, unless we see Wade Barrett leave the booth.
And maybe go back to announcing on NXT or getting back in the ring.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe him and Drew McIntyre could be doing something.
I have heard something of a short-term feud for those two. But could we also see Wade Barrett potentially become a manager?
There's a part of me that wants to see Barrett come back to the ring for a little bit, because he was cleared, as was Corey Graves, actually.
Yep.
But I don't think Corey's coming back to the ring.
No, Corey doesn't want to.
Well, I'm sure if it's right, he would do something, but I don't think it's a full-time schedule.
No.
Yeah, it'd probably be more like a one-off in like the Royal Rumble or something like that he would do, you know?
I mean, why wouldn't the man who tells everybody to stay down do a one-shot deal on SmackDown? Or say hello to Bobby Stats, who's now...
Hello, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby. Could we also potentially see, instead of Wade Barrett becoming a manager, could we see that for Corey Graves?
Who would Corey manage, though?
Carmel?
As right now we're seeing American Made get ejected from ringside.
What about Corey Graves taking the place of Paul Ellering and managing Final Testament?
I'm honestly, and don't get me wrong, because I do love Paul Ellering, I'm not missing him right now.
No.
I honestly think Scarlett is just the better option for their manager.
Right now, I don't even see a need to replace anything there.
Yeah.
Bobby is saying, hope you guys are having a great Friday. And just like the video. Thank you so much, Bobby. And if anybody is wondering what they can do if they're watching on YouTube, make sure that you are liking the video. Make sure you are subscribing, following, engaging, sharing, all that great stuff. So it helps the channel out.
Bobby, I am having a fantastic Friday. Thank you. I'm here, of course, doing the Smackdown Security Detail with these two crazy ass. I don't know, whatever we want to call them.
How about your coworkers, you disrespectful bum?
I can do that.
All right.
And although it was a long, slow day at work, it was another day.
Chad Gable took that Crossroads like a champ.
Yes, he did.
But Cody Rhodes gave it like a champ as he defeats Chad Gable and takes his championship from Jessica Carr after fixing and ailing to his left foot that has no boot on.
Yeah, and I kind of like that he's doing that because he's by doing so he's KO just got in the ring.
Yep.
Can you stop talking?
Yeah, because you kind of surprised me. I was gonna say he's kind of putting Chad Gable over with just how strong the ankle lock could be from Chad Gable by selling it in that sense.
And yes, Bobby, it was very nice to see American Made on SmackDown and Chad Gable in the main event.
Yeah, Bobby, if you have not watched all of SmackDown or are not even watching right now, know that there is a transfer or trade window portal going on, and all general managers from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT are discussing how to move talent from one show to another, as these moves will happen between now and the new year for the January 3rd and 6th.
And there's just this is just what I was talking about between KO and Cody with KO showing up like this. It does add just that little bit more heat to their feud and their match on December 14th.
It'll be very intriguing to see what they do, because if Cody wins, all right, he just goes on to the next feud. But if Kevin Owens loses, what does that do for Kevin Owens moving forward? And does he then go back to Raw?
If he goes to Raw, then he probably goes after Jay or Sammy for their alliance with Roman.
Well, and it's going to be interesting because if we don't know what Netflix wants, and if they get Roman Reigns and the OG Bloodline on Raw, that makes great sense for KO to go back and target them, except that now this time the dynamic has shifted with KO as the heel.
Yeah, and that's just going to add a lot of speculation to all of these potential moves to see what happens in the WWE in the next few weeks, because as we stand here on December the 6th, we only have about 4 weeks until everything has changed once again.
Yeah.
So not only do we have 4 weeks to see what those changes are, we have 4 weeks where Smackdown Security Detail goes back to being 3 hours.
Yes. Everything goes back to being 3 hours.
Yes, but we're living in the lab in the present right now. Just like we're living in a time where SmackDown, unfortunately, is over because it's only 2 hours.
Yep.
So what did you guys think of SmackDown?
Fantastic show. I got in a little bit earlier than I planned because my boss came up and said, lock the doors at 10 to 8. So I was able to get home a little bit quicker.
No, this whole show is just totally enjoyable. I'm actually surprised at the tag team title switch. I did not expect that to happen. I'm happy it did at the same time.
It was, and really not a whole lot of fallout from Survivor Series on this show.
Not as much, but some continuation, as we are seeing a little bit more of a priority of who attacked Jade from Bianca. We did find out that Tiffany Stratton advanced in the United States Championship tournament. We saw DIY reclaim the tag team titles from Motor City Machine Guns after Street Profits were attacked. Ciampa got the tag title match for DIY, Gargano got the tag match for DIY, only then to hit Chris Sabin in the, I call them the perishables. And then that allowed them the edge to become the new tag team champions. We also saw Cody Rhodes and Chad Gable, which I don't think a lot of people expected to see, but it was a very fresh match. Seeing American Made on SmackDown kind of gave SmackDown a different feel.
Yeah.
I think I could get behind Chad Gable main eventing a little bit more.
And even of the subtle teases, like Gunther in the back talking with Nick Aldis. Dominic,
more specifically, was more subtle.
I didn't see Dom.
Dom was in the back, like he didn't actually hear him. He was one of those, as people, he's talking to Nick Aldis there. So, obviously making a lot of intrigue to this transfer trade window that is going on, putting some attention to it. So, another very good. Obviously with WWE, the wheels always go. The machine doesn't stop moving. So it's, it's on to the next week and the next week and the next week as we prepare for Saturday night's main event and then the Royal Rumble and then WrestleMania and all that good stuff. Well, can't forget Elimination Chamber because OMD, we know where you're going.
And we can't forget you're going to the Rumble.
Yeah.
We also didn't mention the fact that the Bloodline reasserted their dominance tonight on Andrade and LA Knight as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and others as well.
Yeah.
So we did get a lot to take out of this. We got a lot of in-ring action. And we now know that it's Bayley versus Chelsea Green in one semifinal match for the U.S. title. Meechin versus Tiffany Stratton in the other. Very interesting to see. We're down to the final four for the United States Championship, which will be won at Saturday night's main event.
Yes, it will.
Yeah. And on that note, I think it's time to give out them socials. Let's go start off with you, Mr. Parrish.
Yeah, as you see, all my socials just going down below. If you're able to read, that should be easy. If not, you can go to my Linktree /Chris Parrish, and then you can also check out all my beautiful social media platforms, specifically the Facebook, the YouTube, the X, the Instagram, and the Twitch. Why? Because every Sunday at 12:15 p.m., the Chris Parrish podcast comes to you live and in living color. No, I'm not CM Punk, but some might say it's the best in the world. That might just be me. Who knows? I hope other people say it's good. But yeah, you can come check out episode 54 as we will have a blast talking a lot about the Women's Intercontinental Championship, this trade window perhaps, and much, much more. And then if by chance you need a little refreshment in your life, make sure you're going to Rogue Energy and use a Parrish promo code to save yourself 10%. And because I am paid to do so, please check out Beercade YEG. And if you're ever in the downtown Edmonton area, go to 105-44 82nd Ave, and you can check out Beercade, as they always have a lot of fun games to play, a lot of great drink specials, and a great atmosphere to go check out.
All right, and how about you, Mr. OMD?
People, if you want to find me, you can find me on my Linktree, linktr.ee/OMDShow. Next time you can see me visually will be right here tomorrow night with Mr. Best. I'm not sure about Mr. Parrish on the PLE Patrol for Deadline.
All right, and you can find me at my Linktree, linktr.ee/Chris_best83. You can find me tomorrow doing the PLE Patrol for NXT Deadline, but if wrestling isn't your thing, you can check me out on a pre-taped episode tomorrow night of Saturday Night's Gaming. And on that note, OMD, what are those words that we like to go out on?
In the immortal words of Carl Carafel, ladies and gentlemen, the world is a scary place. Take care of each other. From all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, good night, good luck, we out.
I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your ground, till the afterglow, the afterglow. Fading away, you look so great where you gotta shine. One more part of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd. Pressure is your best enemy, spotlights show what I wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack, you're just getting